Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we currently have our construction queue paused, and to be honest, that's not going to slow down our GDP growth. Our GDP growth right now is currently hinged on our population, I believe, so we'll proceed forward here. We do have some market access issues in Mendoza, and we might actually be able to fix that. Hang on, let's check here. Do I have a road maintenance in Mendoza? No. Let's just pop that right on in, and that should fix that straight away. Beautiful. So that's great. We've got that underway, and we're currently spending a good amount on subsidies, but to be honest, once we get our interest gone, we'll be doing pretty well. Our investment pool is building up nicely, and the question is, when do we want to resume our construction and consume our investment pool? Well, this railway is no longer necessary at this moment, so we get rid of that. And then all we've got is all of this going on. Now, I was just noticing that our tooling workshops are actually fully employed for once and making huge profits. So increasing our tooling workshops might not be a bad idea here. What is the price of tools currently? 38.2. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and queue that up at the beginning here. And we'll have that be what we go for. How long will that take to construct? 23 weeks. Okay. So that's going to be that same, like, 400,000 number that we calculated last episode for the railroad. We also need to figure that will drive the price of tools up when we resume construction pretty dramatically. So that's a thing. That's a thing. We are continuing to colonize over here, and we're colonizing very quickly now. Every 50 days, we get a chunk. So that's great. Very, very good there. We're at 1.52 million right now and growing by almost 1% annually. We'd definitely like to see that number come up a bit. I'd like to see like 1.5, even 2% annual growth. That would be amazing. It's not very viable right now, but that would be amazing. So that's fine for the moment, and we've got so many empty jobs. Like, look at that. 70,000 jobs available right here. Here's well, that's not a very good example, but there's some there as well. In our iron mine, here's another 40,000 jobs available. In our lead mine, here's another 4,000. These logging camps aren't built. Our gold mines aren't even full due to the price of tools. Okay, so we definitely do want to bring the price of tools down. I think that's very clear. And we're at like 381k right now for our investment pool. I think we're going to go ahead and unpause our construction for the moment and work our way through our tool. That'll be fine. And we're just going to eat through this investment pool fairly quickly. But once we start seeing our finances dip again, then we can pause our construction. I just want to get this investment pool used up. So that'll be fine. Yeah, we're pulling 21.3k out per month, but it's actually only changing by 17k because we're still putting into the investment pool. We need to remember. Shift work has been unlocked, plus 20 economy of scale building level cap. Fascinating. Current level cap is plus 50. Noted. So that's good to know. And we're now at a 9 million GDP, 28 worldwide, number 7 per capita. So that's going pretty well. We definitely need people. But we are growing reasonably, 0.91% now. That's not bad. That's really not bad. And a lot of our population is going to be underage. So once they come of age, things should start getting quite a lot better. Remember, we're about one generation into this at this point. So we've got 400,000 radicals at this moment. That's not hugely shocking considering our standard of living and our, more importantly, our government acceptability is very low. It's not shocking, but there's not a lot that we can do about that right now. Racial segregation, huh? Actually, these bonuses are pretty good. 100 authority, minus 10% radicals from standard of living decreases, and plus 10% loyalists from standard of living increases. If your standard of living is going to change, that's not a bad policy. But our standard of living isn't changing. So there's that. For right now, that's probably not the best bet. Our investment pool is definitely plummeting a bit here. However, our cost of construction has come down a bit. Fascinating. I like it. Our GDP has also come down a bit. That's okay for the time being, and I'd love to get this tooling workshop finished. Out of curiosity, this is #1 tooling workshop in the world, and the 90th most productive building in the world. Fascinating. Well, we're definitely going to continue to expand this tooling workshop. We're going to run out of our investment pool in a bit, like 5 weeks. That'll be enough to finish our tooling workshop. Great. So that's fine. We will continue our construction queue until we run out of investment pool. That's the idea here. So, 1 week remaining. And it's done. Fantastic. We've got another week of construction in our investment pool here. Okay. So now we'll need to pause. You can see we dip negative there, and we'll just go ahead and pause our construction. Perfect. Finishing that tooling workshop helps a lot. The price of steel is currently quite high. Let's check in on our steel mill. Okay, they just need to hire. There's no major problem here. Again, we have the most productive steel mill in the world. So that's exciting. Cool. So as we can see, our GDP dropped pretty dramatically when we paused our construction. Not shocking in the slightest. But that will continue to come up, realistically. And our interest payments are going down. How close are we to getting more minting? 6 years. Okay. The trade unions are unhappy. Minus 15% state construction efficiency. Hilarious. And the trade unions have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Have they been? I feel like we've been favoring the trade unions, to be honest. Choosing is always hard. Not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Argentina with a dense and vicious poison. Well, we could address their concerns, and that's what we'll do. Cool. Excellent. So, the industrialists are now neutral, and that's fine. I'm also noticing that our loyalists have dropped. That's good too. That's very, very good. Our population has gone up by 0.02 million this episode. And it is continuing to come up. So our number of gainfully employed is still 3.58k. 3.58k? That would be awful. No, it's 358k. Oh my. Okay, our GDP will continue to rise as our population comes up here. We have so many places that we've just been building economy of scale upgrades for. So what is currently expensive? Paper. Okay, we know we have a paper mill. What is this over here? Undeserved blame. Unfairly blaming the poor living conditions in Alto Paraguay on their Irish neighbors. We do all need to work together. Okay, so that's fine. Our paper mill is up here, and it is profitable, so we could theoretically queue up a paper mill upgrade. And once again, is that 23 weeks? It is. Okay, so that's fine. We'll just build up our investment pool again. Looks good. And once we hit about 350k, then we'll build that paper mill. Speaking of paper mills, the number 5 productivity paper mill in the world, huh? Okay, that's not bad. Now it's number 10. Okay. Sure. It's just kind of fluctuating all over. We definitely need to pay down our credit. That is a big thing that we need to do. And once we do that, our interest payments are kind of eating our lunch right now. So once we get this debt snowball rolling, things will be a lot better on that front. That'll be great. Anarchism has been unlocked. Okay. We don't really care too much about that necessarily. Inefficient agriculture. I mean, yeah, we've got that minus 80% because of the blight going on. But they're upset about subsistence farms. Migration attraction? Yes, migration attraction. We've gained another 0.02 million. Okay, we're starting to grow reasonably quickly then. Some of that is our colonization. Definitely. But I think a lot of it is migration. There's not that much populace here. 12.9k remaining. So we will get that population eventually. And we're going to need to go after Paraguay. I really did want to declare war on them, but they signed that defensive pact with Chile that makes things a lot more awkward for us. Once we get this whole debt situation dealt with, then we can really work on expanding our military, which will be one of our primary goals here. Okay, so those paper mills are going to be done eventually. That's fine. We could go for some cash crops like coffee and tobacco over our coal mines and logging camps. And to be honest, I think that's not a terrible idea. Going for the coffee plantations here. Cotton and dyes are also reasonable. But I want to go for tobacco beyond that. These are great cash crops, and we'll get those underway. This is a lot of them. This is a whole lot of them. Okay. So now the question is, where is that paper mill at? It's going to be pretty low. There we go. Okay, so we'll move that paper mill up. I'm going to move up these that have already had progress put into them. And then we'll do something kind of like that. There. We'll do something like this. No. I canceled construction on that logging camp. Whatever. It's fine. We can get it queued up again. I would definitely like to get some of these cash crops going. So that'll be fine. How are we doing on our investment pool? We're up to 110k again. That's not bad. But we really do need it to be like 350k if we want to get that paper mill finished. But yeah, getting those cash crops going does sound good. We probably should have done that earlier, to be honest. We've got another 10 days going on here on this colonial growth. Looks good. And they're at 12.5k now. Okay, so we got 0.2k, or 200 people out of that. That's not a lot, to be honest. 1.54 million at this point, and we need to keep in mind that getting everything here will bring us up to 1.56 at this point, because we just hit 1.55. So our population is definitely starting to grow pretty quickly here. That's looking good, actually. That's very, very good. Our interest is down to 4.67k, and every week that goes down by 0.02. Right? Yeah. So that's really good there. We could continue to run our construction queue. Just for a bit here, we would not be able to finish our paper mills. But let's go ahead and let that go for a bit. And yeah, we'll be able to run this for something like 12 weeks at this point. Yeah, I think that's about right. 12 weeks. So we're not going to finish the paper mill, but that's okay. We're paying down our debts, and look at our GDP right now. I mean, I say that every time I just start up the construction queue, because the construction queue does add a lot to our GDP. But yeah, that's huge. Absolutely huge. This logging camp is going to finish before we run out of investment pool. That's for sure. Will the paper mill? No, it will not, is the answer. But what about the coal mine? Let's see here. I don't think it'll quite finish up. No, I don't think it will. But it'll be kinda close. Kinda close. I was definitely planning to attack Paraguay, but we're not in a position to do so right now, unfortunately. I would love to attack Paraguay and Chile. We need to find a time where Peru, Bolivia won't interfere. Their GDP is smaller than ours. Which is funny, considering their population is like 4 times ours. Not quite, like 3 times ours. But even so, that's fine. Our population is continuing to grow nicely, and we do need to attack somebody. Gold discovered in Peru, Bolivia. Okay. We're continuing to grab this colony over here. Looks good. And now we're dipping negative here. 8 weeks and 9 weeks, respectively. I'll let this week finish up. And now we do need to pause our construction. So we got good progress on the paper mill and coal mine there. And we did finish up that one logging camp. So that's looking good. We'll let our investment pool build back up a little bit here. And we're currently number 50 in the world with prestige. I mean, our prestige is being kept artificially low right now. It's fine. I'm not concerned about that. So we have 20 plus 2 battalions, compared to Chile having 15 plus 14, and Paraguay having 15 plus 2. Okay. We're going to have to beef up our military if we want to do that. But that's fine. We're paying down our debt. We are about halfway done paying down our debt. That's huge. Absolutely huge. And even with our construction queue paused, we're now up over 9 million. I love it. That's great. That's really, really good. We do need to get more population, and conquest is a decent way to do that. The real question is, how's this tooling workshop doing? We could definitely continue to expand our tooling. And I'm going to queue that up, even though it doesn't really help us too much. We'll do something like this, getting the paper mill and the coal mine done, and then working on the tooling workshop. So we know we're going to be losing like 15k per week. And we know we need, I think, 8 weeks at this point. Oh, what is this? Slaves have risen up in Santa Fe. There's not that many slaves, actually. Slave pops becoming radical isn't that big of a deal for us. So that's okay. Our radicalism is creeping upward, and that is because we're in an unacceptable government. There's nothing we can really do about that at this moment, though. We can't get to a more acceptable government. We could cut our taxes. That would bring us up to 51. That would also put us negative, so that's not a viable option. Unless we replaced it with a consumption tax, but there aren't any good consumption taxes, so that's not going to be a possibility. And I'd rather not run consumption taxes if we didn't have to right now. Although I do think that we have to. So that's okay for the moment. We could maybe drop our consumption tax on transportation at this point. That's probably fine. The rest of these I think are okay to have. Tobacco, luxury, furniture, wine. Those are all okay to have consumption taxes on. I would prefer not to have it on transportation, though. Okay, how are we doing on our motor industry? Noted. Mostly need tooling workshops and coal. I mean, we're going to be working on that. So that's reasonably fine. We're at 100k now. Let's go ahead and, after this week tick, unpause. I think that'll allow us to finish up both of these constructions. 8 and 9 week... it'll be close. Not quite. Noted. But we'll let that go for a bit. We're almost up to 10 million GDP while constructing, so that's great. And we're paying another 3.76k in interest right now. That's not going to be enough to consistently construct, but that's okay. We don't necessarily need to. We have plenty of open jobs. Open jobs is not our problem right now. But 1.56 million population. This is definitely starting to come up quickly. I like it. We do seem to be starting to hit an exponential curve on that. That's very, very good. So we're going to be running out of investment pool actually after we get these done. So that's great. I really like that. The paper mill finishes. And the coal mines actually are going to finish this week here. We'll let this coal mine finish and then repause. We're negative at the moment, but there we go. Gantry cranes, industrial ports are now available, and floating harbors are available as well. That's fine. So tools are expensive right now. We are working on this tooling workshop, but that will take a little bit. 22 weeks to get that done. And we know that we're going to need, let's see, 13K. So, yeah, that's a lot. Figure something along the lines of 280,000 in our investment pool to... That was mental math. I probably did not nail that. But something along those lines. So, I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. Really. And 1.56 million pop at this point is looking good. That is definitely looking good. Protectionism, huh? I mean, that would give us money from tariffs. Mass conscription would be a possibility too. And that's an interesting question. Do we want mass conscription? So that would allow us to mobilize 20 conscript battalions from 2. The armed forces oppose this, as do the landowners. So I think we're probably not going to do that. I would rather stick to the professional army, I think. We will need to expand our professional army. Cool. So we're definitely seeing faster growth than our projected pop growth here. I think we're definitely seeing some immigration happening. That's absolutely great. 10K right now. Wow. That means that we're going to be out of debt here very soon. I mean, 100 weeks, but it's getting a lot better. No doubt about that. Our investment pool investment is staying about the same. I'm going to move the coal mine up here and resume because the coal mine will be done faster than the tooling workshop. And we'll just work on getting that done. It's not going to finish this run, for the record. That's not going to be a thing. But we'll just let this go. And let's see. Fabric, iron, and tools are expensive. That makes sense. That's all of our construction goods. Okay, we'll go ahead and pause this. We are already out of investment pool. And those will all go away because we're not constructing. So that's fine. Completely and totally expected. Realistically. I just thought of something. What we should be doing here, I think, technically, is running this every other week. Because that drives the price up on the week tick. And then we turn it off. And then the next week we turn it back on. Right? And the price should have come down at least somewhat. Now, we're out of investment pool for right now. So it doesn't make sense to do that at this exact moment. But something along those lines is what I'm currently kind of thinking. Also, another thing that we can think about, we have a lot of slop here. We could theoretically bump our taxes up. And sit here. If we're sitting here, then we can actually build constantly. I believe. Yes. Now, we're going to get more radicalism out of this. But we're going to be able to... So that's nice. We'll move our tooling workshop up here, but it is about time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we are going to start working on getting these cash crops online. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, MLohan80, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, Rogue Corvid, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.